Canadian capital, this is the GBN Television News. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Good evening and welcome to the GBN Television News for Thursday, January 6, 2022. Coming up in the news tonight, Grenada's 2021 CBI revenue of EC $150 million expected to double this year. Karakou resident holds his own funeral after suffering with a progressive nervous system disease. GUT urges caution as the country prepares for the full reopening of schools on Monday. For what's coming up in our probe around the globe and sports, here's Zia Frederick.
Thanks, Blossom. In regional news tonight, Nestle is confirming an increase in price for some of its products. Internationally, a state of emergency has been declared in Kazakhstan, where protests sparked by rising fuel prices have widened. And coming up in sports tonight, Novak Djokovic's dad says the Australian government is trying to humiliate his son ahead of the Australian Open. I'll bring you the details a little later in the newscast. Now back to you, Blossom.
Thank you, Zia. Stay with us. The details are straight ahead.
The first segment of the news comes to you compliments Soft Weave Bathroom Tissue.
Have you heard about the new Soft Weave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Soft Weave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue, available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Soft Weave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Blossom Alexis Welsh with the details. Amidst global uncertainty, projections remain high for Grenada's Citizenship by Investment program, following a year that brought over $1 million in revenue, and this year is projected to be even more profitable. Here's Chrislina John with the details.
Revenue projections are high this year for Grenada's Citizenship by Investment program after a 40% increase, which generated $150 million in 2021. Acting CEO of Grenada's CBI program, Colleen Purcell, says projections are set for over $300 million for this year. The CEO indicated that the pandemic has not had a negative impact, rather an increased demand for investment.
The program has in fact been a lifesaver. While most sectors were seeing downturns, the COVID-19 presented a unique situation that allowed programs worldwide to have increased in the demand as business persons around the world and persons just looking to widen their reach, not depend on any particular economy, because they've seen what a pandemic like COVID can do. So persons are looking for opportunities to to invest in other economies. As a result, the demand for the program worldwide has benefited, and obviously we would have benefited significantly from that as well.
The CBI program aims to generate and create access to foreign direct investment, promotes sustainable long-term employment, specialist training, and the general broadening of skills for locals. The number of projects under the CBI program is tourism-driven. Employment within the construction sector was also recorded.
The projects that have been ongoing they've continued throughout the pandemic, and for many of them they would have continued to employ persons, especially in construction, because most of them are in that phase. So during that construction phase, that's one of the sectors that while there were shortages of material and that sort of thing, they continued throughout the pandemic. So it was actually a sector in terms of the projects that are being developed through the CBI program. Those continue to exist during the program. As that is happening, we would have seen that we would have experienced almost 40% increase in our numbers.
Purcell says they can boast of due diligence, which is second to none.
We have due diligence happening at varying levels of the process, from the time the application comes in at the marketing agents level, at the local agents level, at the banks level. It can be anywhere from about, we've seen some 40, 45 days, all the way up to 90 days, 120 days. And I'm saying that with a caveat, simply because sometimes we have to inquire, we have to go back for information. So there's that, sometimes you go back to get additional information on that particular application based on what was found in the process of, the due diligence, and there are some standard things that must be submitted, and we tend not to lapse on those things.
Lena John, GBN News.
Have you ever heard of someone holding their own funeral while they're still alive? Well, that's what one resident on the Sister Isle did recently as he prepares for his own passing. Here's Chrislena John once again with this interesting piece.
Is this one Calypsonian saying, give him his flowers before he dies, in reality? Jack Russell, a resident of Bel Air, Carriacou, is one of the first known persons on the island to witness his own funeral. Russell, who suffers from ALS disease, says he may soon die and wanted to hold his own funeral before that, which he did in Carriacou yesterday. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, is a progressive nerve system disease that affects nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord, causing loss of muscle control. Russell says he landed on the Sister Isle 15 years ago in 2006 with his wife Karen as missionaries. Surrounded by the sound of big drum and the dancing, Russell explained how his funeral will roll out.
Tonight, I've asked my friends, Shaka Zulu, who will be the lead drummer, to give me a big drum. In the culture here, big drum is a way to, they have at most funerals, a way to kind of lift the body up, the soul up. We'll have dancers, we'll have drummers. Later, we'll even have a burning of these photos and spreading of the ashes. Basically everything a funeral would have, except I'm going to be here too. I'll be sitting over here by the beach away from everyone, because this is very intense.
This is Russell's philosophy.
Your own big drum, or your own funeral, living funeral, because let's face it, if you're dead, who cares if someone travels halfway around the world to visit you? It's when you're alive, which is the most important. So enjoy the drum. It will be, I think, very memorable to you.
The drummer for the funeral service was Shaka Zulu. Christelina John, GBN.
Can't be mad at him. Witnessing your own funeral? To each his own. Moving on, despite the willingness of the Grenada Union of Teachers to educate the nation's children, President Jude Bartholomew says they are concerned with the current COVID-19 situation. With active cases currently over 1,000 as of Wednesday night, the GUT president called for the Ministry of Education to tread cautiously following the announcement that schools will reopen fully from next Monday. Gerard Joseph has that story.
While understanding the need to return to face-to-face teaching and learning, noting the stresses of online classes and education deficiencies for some students, GUT President Jude Bartholomew says caution must be taken to ensure one problem does not become another. Reminding education officials that children and a young population is the sector being dealt with, Bartholomew impresses that it is completely different from handling adults in a controlled environment.
When you look at the dynamics now with education, you have thousands of children going to school. This new variant now, basically you listen to CNN and other, you listen to news internationally, and you are hearing that this new variant is basically attacking children, even probably more so than adults. And so therefore, and it spread fastly, and basically a wide cross-section can get the virus. That's where we have to be very, 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 very careful.
Positive cases have already been reported in at least one school, and the GUT president has recommended to the ministry to monitor the first 2 weeks of the phased face-to-face classes before making a decision.
You look at the case that is rising, and one would want to say, tread cautiously. Don't just come and say, well, school opening in full next week result because you're so concerned about the children and you're concerned. Yes, we're concerned about the children too, but we have to balance the equation because we might end up in a situation worse than basically what we want.
Bartholomew says blended learning was suggested to the ministry to take into consideration the social distancing mandated within the back-to-school protocols.
We also have to look that if we're going back, that you look at the classroom space. Somebody did call and express that concern to the minister last night. Classroom space, whether are we able now with the situation and with this virus spreading? Yes, you want everybody to go back and such, but when you look at the size of the school, you look at the furniture, you look at the desk arrangement, most times 2 persons sitting down to one desk. Are we able to do that?
The union leader says while he agrees that they have to reach every student, they welcomed the return of the exit classes, which he notes could have transitioned to a gradual phased approach. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
As of Monday, all students will return to face-to-face learning, as announced by the Ministry of Education, with protocols in place to address the possibility of cases popping up at schools. While this is so, with the current COVID-19 situation in Grenada, should the authorities revisit the decision to fully reopen schools next week? GBN's Rena Perry-Thomas spoke to several parents and guardians in St. George to get their thought on the reopening of schools.
Minister for Education Emily Mper announced this week that all schools will be reopened in full from Monday, January 10th to all students throughout the state of Grenada. She stated that education cannot be put on hold for much longer as some students are falling through the cracks, resulting in educational deficiencies. On the other hand, Grenada is now experiencing a second wave of the COVID-19 virus and has seen over 1,000 active cases as of January 6th, Wednesday night. To get a view of how some parents and guardians feel about the situation, GBN sought their views on the streets of St. George's.
Yes, I think so. Because the children are tired at home. They are very tired, so I think they should open up.
I think they will be very good to open school on Monday. The children need education and they need a lot of things. So it is wise to open school on Monday. It is wise.
I don't know, but I just want them children to go back to school. I tired with my son, give me shares home.
They need to go to school. Sure. Sure, they're supposed to go to school.
They just have to have themselves guard up,
protect your children and let them go to school.
While most agreed that students should return to school, there were some others who had a different opinion.
I still feel they should get a little more time. The reason for that is
We don't know how much people that when they go into the school, who have it and who don't have it. So let's hold on a little while and maybe see what's going on.
What I'm seeing in terms of the amount of cases and the nature of the virus itself, in terms of how quickly it spreads, I'm concerned whether they should open all schools at the same time, whether we can really handle a crisis with everybody being infected at the same time, and whether we have the capacity in terms of hospital space, or should it be a bad breakout?
I do find it's a good idea, because we had it before that from the beginning, and it was not that rapid like how it's rapid now. And we had closed up school, we had closed up the place for a while, but now we don't want to close. And knowing that it's rapid now and you want to open up school, it's not a good move.
As the current COVID-19 situation continues to unfold, it seems that the reopening of school is being supported by some parents. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
This is GBN Primetime Edition of News. Coming up, Spice Island Billfish Tournament returns, but for the fully vaccinated. Stay with us.
What does it take to be an amazing woman? Lots of me time. Amazing women are classy, fancy, and a little sassy. It's the drink for me. Cheers! Sometimes you've got to show them who's boss. Alpha male? Nah, alpha females are more amazing. Cheers to securing the bag. We make time for ourselves, for work, friends, and we certainly make time for passion. We're simply amazing. Amazing cream liqueur for the amazing woman in you.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform. Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
Introducing the Grenlec mobile app. You can now get your bill balance and easily track energy usage for your home or business. Report and receive alerts about power outages. Plus, stay up to date by receiving the latest notifications. Yes, the Grenlec app keeps you connected anytime, anywhere.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
Light up this Christmas with Republic. Come on and brighten up the holidays with Republic.
Light up your Christmas with Republic Bank. Light up your home with renovation. Light up your driveway with a new vehicle. Even better, light up the faces of your loved ones with a loan from Republic Bank. Get up to $50,000 unsecured, reduced interest rates, quick approvals, and win cash prizes with Republic Bank.
The holidays are here. Republic spreading the cheer. Come on and light up your Christmas with Republic.
Make this Christmas your brightest with Republic Bank. Special terms and conditions apply.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
Light up this Christmas with Republic. Come on and brighten up the holidays with Republic.
Light up your Christmas with Republic Bank. Light up your home with renovation. Light up your driveway with a new vehicle. Even better, light up the faces of your loved ones with a loan from Republic Bank. Get up to $50,000 unsecured. Reduced interest rates, quick approvals, and win cash prizes with Republic Bank.
The holidays are here. Republic spreading the cheer. Come on and light up your Christmas with Republic.
Make this Christmas your brightest with Republic Bank. Special terms and conditions apply.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back to the news. 314 new COVID-19 cases on Wednesday tipped Grenada's total number of cases since the start of the pandemic to over 7,000 as the country experiences its second wave following the festive season. Wednesday night's dashboard brought active cases to 1,179 despite 8 recoveries. There were 4 people hospitalized and fortunately the death toll remained at 200. The vaccination rate is still slow with cumulative numbers at 80,732. 35,980 people are fully vaccinated, 5,707 are partially vaxxed, and 3,065 people have received their booster shots. In other news, Spice Isle Billfish Tournament is back on the sporting calendar, but this year it will take place in a bubble. After a 1-year break, the 52nd Republic Bank Spice Isle Billfish Tournament was launched on Thursday as a fully digital, fully vaccinated event. Chrislina John was at the launch.
Over 30 anglers from participating countries will be arriving on the island in coming days for the return of the Spice Isle Billfish Tournament. This year's event will be held under strict COVID protocols and is open to only vaccinated participants. The tournament runs from January 25th to the 29th. Clinton Bailey says they are excited to be back, noting that they are having agreed with certain specifications handed down by the Ministry of Health. Richard McIntyre, past chairman of the board, says government is in full support of hosting this year's tournament. McIntyre explains the screening process for participants.
The structure of our tournament, which has been to have a local tournament in the midst of the normal international tournament, and we already have interest from all of the parishes. It is designed to focus and improve fishing amongst the parish teams and so on that will participate, but conservation of the billfish species is a must. So no one will be allowed to bring to our scale a fish when they're on the boat. Our limit ends there. But to bring to our scale any marlin, any other sports fishing,
speaks on conservation of fish species as they look to include local fisher folk.
This includes proof of negative PCR test taken prior to arrival, well as vaccination cards. Along with the SIBT committee, will be enforcing a fully vaccinated bubble in which patrons of the club and participants of the tournament are asked to abide with. Please. All anglers will be easily identified using colored hand wristbands, I believe is the term.
Title sponsor for the event is Republic Bank, pledging $45,000 towards the tournament. Country manager at the bank, Naomi Diali, sees this hosting of such an activity as an economic boost to the
support your efforts to offer not just leisure to some of the region's finest anglers and game fishing enthusiasts, but a much needed economic boost to our island. We have followed the tournament and over its 50 years legacy, and we welcome yet another opportunity to be a sponsor to this prestigious event. This sporting activity is not only merited for its financial capabilities, it serves as a key demonstration of Grenada's commitment and readiness to promoting game conservation and environmental preservation, while also fostering regional integration.
McIntyre highlighted what patrons can look forward to.
Nothing will change. They're going to have the parade of the boats going into the harbor. Hopefully they'll blow their horns, and we're going to have the cannon being operated from the fort, and hopefully they could stay clear of the cruise ships that may be on their way in. We usually coordinate that.
Lena John, GBN.
With Grenada experiencing its second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic following the holiday season, many have expressed their unease on social media about the large number of positive cases recorded daily. But with that concern, what is the public's thinking in relation to a return of nightly curfew or even nationwide lockdowns? Rena Perry-Thomas took to the streets today.
As the wearing of masks, washing of hands, and the keeping of the 6-foot distance become even more essential in the past few days, health officials are yet to announce any plans to reinstitute the curfew restriction. In speaking to people on the streets of St. George's on their thoughts of COVID-19 and how the country should deal with it, here are some of their responses.
We have to learn to live with COVID, and people should try and take the vaccine. There's two things I should advise. I take my vaccine. Understand? So, and COVID here to stay, so we have to learn to live with it.
Well, we have to learn to live with it because we are not obeying. Because I had a funeral yesterday and it was overwhelming. What I would like to see, people obey the instructions, and then we'll go better. Because we doesn't know much. Because all we're hearing on the news, whether it's false or real, you say so much things on Facebook and all these things, so it confuses people. So we have to follow the people who is in charge and follow the rules.
Because I think it's something that we have to live with. I think COVID is going to be something we have to live with. So I'm not sure if those measures would change anything as such, maybe in a short-term period, but what about the long term? So at this point, I'm not sure.
While some of the persons airing their views agreed that people should learn to live with the virus as it is here to stay, others believe some level of restriction should be implemented.
Yes, I would like to have the curfew to keep down the increase of the COVID. That will help. That's okay, that will help.
As they say, here to stay, so we don't have a choice. We have to learn to live with it. But we developing rapidly now. We have to watch that. I find the ministry should look into it.
We have to learn to live with COVID, but the tighter restrictions has to be made because people are becoming very careless.
In a way, we have to learn to live with it, but in another way, there should be some restrictions, especially persons traveling in and out. But we also have to, like the person, as they say, it's a new norm, so we have to learn to live with it and work around it.
Cabinet meets weekly to discuss the plans of the country, with the next meeting scheduled for Monday, the day of the full reopening of schools nationwide. For GBN News, I am Rena Perry-Thomas reporting.
And now let's turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Here's Rena Perry-Thomas once again as she's been looking around the platforms.
The news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our Social Buzz report.
The police say they cannot get involved in the story of a missing 7-year-old girl who was removed from her mother's home by the Child Protection Authority as the CPA is acting within their legal capacity. GBN brought this story and you, our online audience, took to the comment section to air your views. Alexis said that response is unacceptable. The authority may have the right to protect a child if there is abuse, but the parent should not be treated in this manner. Sayani Date comment, the father knows why he is apprehensive to hold on to his daughter given prior circumstances. As to whatever reason CPA removed the child from the home, is the father and stepmother not capable of caring for the child? If this was a real life and death situation where the child was in real jeopardy, the police would have intervened. O'Kelly Latouche wrote, "This is utter insanity. How can they not comment on the whereabouts of a child? How is this acceptable? Isn't there official document stating where the children are placed? This must be so worrying. CPA should be held accountable." Samara Sylvester said, "They know where the child is. They just don't want the mother to know about the child's whereabouts. How could they take a child and place her with her father and stepmother and now don't know where the child is now? Like, seriously, CPA needs to do better than this." And finally, Don Rage's comment, "Grenada is a tiny island and you can't find her. Someone was missing in New York for 3 days and we found them, not the police. This is strange." That's a wrap for tonight's Buzz. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
And still to come from us, GOT President calls for one voice from education officials. We'll tell you what he means next.
January 1947 saw the dawn of a new day, the birth of the Grenada Civil Service Credit Union, later renamed the Grenada Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Limited, and more recently, ARISA. ARISA is extremely proud to be celebrating this significant milestone. But this would not have been possible without you. And this is why we are inviting you to celebrate with us as we celebrate 75 years of transforming lives. Stay tuned to our social media platforms and our local media houses to learn more of the activities and events that we have in store for you. As we celebrate this journey, we thank all our stalwarts for their valued contributions in bringing us to where we are today. We look forward to serving you for many more years. Let's celebrate 75 years of transforming lives.
Your vehicle insurance should never break your bank. With Beacon, you can get up to 35% off your fully comprehensive car insurance and still get full protection from unexpected damages with free loss of use, windscreen cover, and special perils. When it comes to your insurance, always be sure you settle for more. Call us at 440-4447 or log on to beacon.co.tt and get a quote today.
Have you heard about the new Softweave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Softweave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue, available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Softweave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
When you need your prescription filled or you require non-prescribed medication, supplements, or all your personal needs, visit Gittins Healthcare at locations on Wall Street, Grand Anse, Victoria Street, Brentwood, and Central Deputy Street, Wharf. Gittins Healthcare aims to provide an exceptional personalized pharmacy experience. Additionally, children under 5 and adults 55 years and over will enjoy 10% discount on purchases of $20 and over on prescription medication. Stop settling for less. Visit Gittins Healthcare, where your health is our priority.
What if there was a place in Grenada that was close to Grand Anse Beach, within walking distance of restaurants and attractions, and you didn't have to pay hundreds of dollars to stay there? Guess what? There is. Look us up.
Welcome back. One voice rather than different sources of information has been the clarion call from the Grenada Union of Teachers for several months. The issue resurfaced this week as GUT President Jude Bartholomew alleged that contradicting information was received from district education officers to what was initially handed down from the Ministry of Education. Minister of Education Emmeline Pear has since responded, as we hear in this Gerard Joseph report.
Conflicting information from district education officers has seemingly remained unresolved despite numerous complaints from the Grenada Union of Teachers. GUT President Jude Bartholomew says instructions without an official letterhead from the ministry have been handed down for teachers to attend school daily. Bartholomew says this has been coming from some district education officers.
Yes, we had consultation. We meet with the Minister of Education and other persons on a monthly basis, and we did express those sentiments. So what we're saying there is that the goodwill or the good intention from the Ministry of Education.
He had appealed to the Ministry of Education to address the issue while appearing on GBN's To The Point program.
You must have one message, and stop allowing different bosses and everybody to be doing their own thing, and that's when confusion and chaos are.
Education Minister Emmeline Pear in response notes that district education officers are expected to implement the directives coming from the ministry. Minister Pear says an important aspect is ensuring the students are receiving instructions as teachers are performing their duties while working from home.
So, you don't expect to have a teacher on the beach this morning. You don't expect to see a teacher in the mall this morning, right? And so if the district officer picks up that there are some challenges, that while students should be instructed, that persons are not delivering that instruction for reasons that are not acceptable, of course that district officer would be concerned.
However, pointing to the exact situation, the minister says the district education officer did in fact instruct principals to have all teachers report due to supervision concerns identified.
Now, where that district officer went wrong is that district officer should have consulted with the chief education officer before giving that new instruction. Because when it was brought to my attention, I called the chief education officer, and we both agreed that particular school or schools could have been dealt with in isolation. So if the problem didn't apply to all schools, there was no need to send the instructions to all schools, but that was immediately addressed.
I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
And now let's take a peek through the GBN EyeSaw lens.
A good eye catches all. GBN EyeSaw is brought to you by ClearVision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. ClearVision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. ClearVision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
tonight's GBN I Saw, we feature Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell reading the Bible story to the children. Our I Saw reporter said, quote, the kids of Kingdom visited Dr. Mitchell and he read them a story about the birth of Jesus Christ from the book of Luke chapter 2, unquote. Our citizen journalist added, quote, it is beautiful to see the Prime Minister taking time to read the Bible to the children. It was truly a Kodak moment. That's why I like Christmas. We captured the hidden gifts and talents in folks around us that we missed during the year, unquote. We thank our ISO reporter for this submission. Continue to send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Stay with us. Your weather report and forecast is up next, and then we join Zia Frederick for sports, regional, and international news.
There are those who say they care, and then there is Jediah's Pharmacy, conveniently located at the front entrance of the Bruce Street Mall, right next to a Rise Up Credit Union. We offer premium quality products and services, and when you need us, we are there, offering you around-the-clock service, Mondays to Fridays, 7:30 to 7 p.m., Saturdays, 9 until 7 p.m., and Sundays, 10 until 2. At Jediah's Pharmacy, we show care with a beautiful smile. Call us today at 440-5342. The number again, 440-5342. Happy holidays from the management and staff of Jediah's Pharmacy.
Support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
When you need your prescription filled or you require non-prescribed medication, supplements, or all your personal needs, visit Gittins Healthcare at locations on Wall Street, Grandans, Victoria Street, Brandon, and Central Deputy Street, Wall. Gittins Healthcare aims to provide an exceptional personalized pharmacy experience. Additionally, children under 5 and adults 55 years and over will enjoy 10% discount on purchases of $20 and over on prescription medication. Stop settling for less. Visit Gittins Healthcare, where your health is our priority.
Keeping an eye on the weather. This is GBN. We've got you covered.
Sporting fans, Novak Djokovic's dad has urged people to rise up against the decision to bar the world's best tennis player from entering Australia. The senior Djokovic said the Australian government wanted to humiliate his son in a row over playing in the country and says he is being held in prison. The world's best player was barred from competing in the Australian Open and is said to be deported on Monday after entering the country without the necessary vaccine waiver.
Novak and his team filed the same type of documents as those 25 other tennis players, and they didn't have any problems, just Novak. They wanted to humiliate him. They could have said, "Don't come, Novak," and that would have been okay. But no, they wanted to humiliate him, and they're still keeping him imprisoned. He's not in detention, he's in prison. They took all of his stuff, even his wallet. They left him with just a phone and no change of clothes, nowhere to wash his face. He's in prison. Our pride is a prisoner of these idiots. Shame on them. The whole free world, together with Serbia, should rise. This isn't a battle for Serbia and Novak. It's a battle for 7 or something billion people. For freedom of expression, free speech, freedom of behavior. Novak didn't break any laws, just as 7 billion people didn't break any laws. They want to subdue us and throw us all on our knees. It won't fly. Freedom, Novak. We're all with you.
The United States women's under-19 team will travel to the Caribbean to play their first international tour with a 4-match T20 series later this month, USA Cricket has announced. USA Cricket said in a release that in partnership with both the Windward Islands Cricket Board and the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Cricket Association, the tour is part of the wider long-term strategic partnership that it has with Cricket West Indies. WICB President Dr. Kishore Shallow said the tour represents a shared vision of both USA Cricket and the WICB to offer more development opportunities for female cricketers. USA Cricket Board member and the Women and Girls Committee Chair Nadia Gurney said the T20 series would be mutually beneficial to the competing teams. The selected under-19 squad does not include several of the players who participated in the abandoned ICC Women's Cricket World Cup qualifier in Zimbabwe. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola and Burnley boss Sean Dyche will miss their club's FA Cup third-round ties after testing positive for COVID-19. City's 50-year-old Spanish boss and his assistant, Juan Manlillo, were both found to have the virus on Tuesday. The pair are among 21 people at City isolating before the cup tie at Swindon Town on Friday. Dyche will miss Saturday's home tie against Huddersfield as he isolates. Neither Burnley nor Manchester City gave any indication that their cup games are at risk of being postponed because of the positive COVID cases. 7 of City's first-team players are among the group of 21 isolating. The Premier League announced on Monday that 14,250 COVID-19 tests were carried out on players and staff between December 27th and January 2nd, with 94 positive results. That's the sports news for now. Stay with us for global developments. Welcome back. I'm Zia Frederick with Global Developments. Whether it is milk, coffee, juice, or seasoning, customers are being told to prepare to pay more for some of these items, as Nestle is confirming an increase for some of its brands. But at a time when other basic commodities are on the rise, the company is assuring that the adjustments will have little impact on consumers. We get more in this report.
Nestle, the world's largest food group, will be biting into the pockets of local consumers, announcing a price increase in selected products. Prior to releasing an official statement, a document outlining the proposed markup on items, including Carnation evaporated milk, Maggi Season Up, Nescafe and Nesquik, began circulating on social media. Head of Corporate Communications, City Jones Gordon, confirmed Nestle will increase prices on some locally and imported products, but did not identify which ones. She said the rate of the price increases will average in the single digits. Nestle blamed the price hike on global increases in transport, supply chain, raw and packaging materials, which includes the well-known surge in commodities. President of the Supermarket Association, Rajiv Dipti, warned consumers to brace for more increases as a result of disruptions to the global supply chain.
We expect to see some of this continuing throughout 2022 as a number of challenges have filtered through 21 into 22, including the elephant in the room, that is the vaccination rates and how these correlate to transport and the container crisis where freight and insurances are concerned.
The food processing conglomerate is the latest company to raise prices on food items. Last week, National Flour Mills and Nutrimix announced increases in wholesale flour prices. The move triggered other companies to adjust the prices of their products. Jesse Ramdale, CNC3 News.
In Barbados, there is a call for opposition parties to come together to take legal action to either force authorities to make provisions for COVID-19 patients to vote or postpone the January 19th general elections. Let's get details from Barbados today.
It's coming from the leader of the Alliance Party for Progress, Bishop Joseph Atherley, who says if neither action is taken, thousands of eligible voters will be robbed of their right to vote. His calls follows an announcement by the Electoral Lines Boundaries Commission that COVID-19 positive persons who are qualified to vote but are in isolation are prohibited from leaving their homes to cast their ballots. Atherley also raised concerns about the current rise in COVID-19 cases.
Multiple thousands of people, through no fault of their own, will not be able to vote in this next election, and especially if these trends continue. Now, I said this from the beginning. I had a meeting with the Electoral Boundaries Commission about 4 or 5 days ago, and I said it then. These people are not at fault. Now, if you're in the QEH hospital, you're lying on your back and so forth, you can't come out to vote. That is fine. We understand that. That is a matter where you really can't. You don't have the physical mobility, the medical capacity to come out and do it. But these people can vote, all for the exception that the government says they must stay at home. Now, I want you people to hear this and hear me carefully. I am no lawyer, but I believe that that is something that can be challenged.
Barbados records another COVID-19 related death. A 14-year-old boy succumbed to complications from COVID-19, bringing the total number of deaths from the virus to 264.
And finally, internationally, a state of emergency has been declared in Kazakhstan, where protests sparked by rising fuel prices have widened into unrest over corruption and authoritarian rule. In the country's largest city, Almaty, demonstrators seized the airport and stormed government buildings. Let's get more details from BBC News.
Across this vast country, scenes of tension and turmoil. In Almaty, running battles lasted on into the night. The police struggling to maintain control in this Kazakhstan's biggest city. This is the fourth day of protests, what began as demonstrations over energy prices, now morphing into something more serious. They said Kazakhs wouldn't take to the streets, says Rafiq, but we've grown tired, we've had enough. Earlier, protesters stormed City Hall, security forces responding with tear gas and stun grenades. President Tokayev said terrorist gangs were trying to take over parts of the country. In an address to the nation, he threatened tough action and declared a state of emergency. He's called on neighbors, including Russia, for help. Far to the west, in the port city of Aktau, more crowds on the streets where it all began at the weekend. A sudden jump in the price of liquefied natural gas used to power cars caused fury. But the protests have now tapped into other long-standing grievances, corruption and economic hardship. Some vent their anger on the country's former leader, Nursultan Nazarbayev, who remains powerful. Old man leave, they chant. In another city, a crowd tries to pull his statue down. The US has urged the authorities to show restraint, but back in Almaty, some policemen were simply giving up. The government says 8 officers and National Guardsmen have been killed. Chaos is spreading. Paul Adams, BBC News.
That's it for a probe around the globe. Stay with us for a review of the main points.
And now let's look back at what made news tonight. Grenada's 2021 CBI revenue of EC $150 million expected to double this year. Karakou resident holds his own funeral after suffering with a progressive nervous system disease. GUT urges caution as the country prepares for the full reopening of schools on Monday. In regional developments, Nestle confirms an increase in prices for some of its products. Internationally, a state of emergency has been declared in Kazakhstan, where protests sparked by rising fuel prices have widened. In sports, Novak Djokovic's dad says the Australian government is trying to humiliate his son ahead of the Australian Open. And that's the end of the GBN Nightly News for Thursday, January 6th, 2022. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at www.gbn.gd or on GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. I am Blossom Alexis Welsh. On behalf of the entire GBN News team, enjoy the rest of your Thursday.